for this treasurer session. And it's an honor of me to share my experience with you, and more so an honor of me to hear your experiences as serving as CUP treasurer. And for the first-time officers and on the repeater officers, congratulations and thank you for taking this big step in the leadership role. As you have heard from the previous presenters, and Gloria and Jim has been saying that being a good leader has to be learning, has good learning experiences, and I'm sure this will be a rewarding experience for you. And as a first-time officers, please do not feel stressed out about that, because you have the whole executive team for them to support you, as well as the past immediate presidents or the executives here, and also the district. But today's objective is to briefly identify you as a treasurer, and then explains how you can fulfill your responsibilities, and also provide some resources, and as Cheryl has provided some good district resources for you that I will maybe just to complement and not repeating what she has presented. And if we have time, we can go through some of the interesting information about the fundraising activities for the CUP. So, what is the role of the treasurer? A businessman was interviewing applicants for the position of the manager of the large division. He quickly devised a test for choosing the most suitable candidate. He simply asked each applicant this question: what is 2 + 2? The first interviewer was a journalist. His answer was 22. The second was a social worker. She said, I don't know the answer, but I'm very glad that we had the opportunity to discuss it. The third applicant was an engineer. He pulled out a slide rule and came up with the answer somewhere between 3.99 and 4.001. Next came the businessman interviewed the accountant, where he asked him what 2 + 2 was. The accountant got up from his chair, went over to the door, closed it, came back and sat down, leaning across the desk, and he said in a really low voice, how much do you want it to be? So, as a CUP treasurer, that might not be what it seems in real life, but what I can state that is a CUP treasurer is more like a CUP accountant. And as a leader for the districts, many of those were trying to be, as Jim mentioned, that doing a best practice and do the role, make sure that your role are being served in excellence. When we look at the session 6 of the Toastmasters International Handbook, the CUP treasurer is responsible for the CUP financial policies, procedures, and controls. The CUP treasurers receive and disburses, with the approval of their audit CUP, the funds paid to Toastmasters International, all financial obligations of these CUPs as they become due, and keeps an accurate account of all transactions. The CUP treasurers shall make financial reports to this CUP and to the CUP Executive Committee quarterly, and upon request, and shall transmit the accounts of all undistributed funds to the successor in office at the end of the CUP treasurer's term. That sounds like a lot of details and complicated, but if we want, we can summarize this in 3 major points. So the function of being a CUP accountant or treasurer is to oversee the CUP's budget and manage the bank account, and collect membership dues payment, and disperse funds as necessary for CUP's activities. Gloria has done a great job this morning about exploring the CUP missions, and I'm not going to go through that, but just to highlight this. However, as a treasurer, how can he or she can support the CUP mission, which is an important question here. We all learned that, she was mentioning the practice, the importance of practice. And as an organized treasurer, he and she, in practicing, will ensure that the resources are running in parallel with the budget and in timely execution of their duties, and ensure that the members can continuously pursuing their educational goals and the club got distinguished. I always have kudos for those ones that become a treasurer. Though from this service, that the treasurer's duties may not be the most demanding of all club leaders' position, but the consequences for members can be serious when they are not completed and accurately on time. And I could say that being a treasurer holds the key for the club's survival, and you have a really, really important job in the executive team. How so? So if memberships dues are paid late, the late members will not be eligible for a speech contest, education awards, or club recognitions in the Distinguished Club program. In addition, they will not have access to base camp until the dues are being paid. So when we look at the treasurer's responsibilities, we can categorize their role in a couple areas. This time we are going to revamp the introduction of the treasurers from the time that they being inducted into the club executive teams, and for the first 30 days, the next 30 days, and also for the remaining 30 days. And their ongoing activities or duties after that, and their role serve as a club in the club meeting and the club executive meetings. Well, thank you for sitting this in this club officers training. And your first part of the mission being a club officers is to attend the training, and thank you for that. I would like also to share some of the materials which encompassing with what we have already been shared. And for the first 30 days, you will also need to meet with your previous treasurer to account for anything that is outstanding and carry forward with the club in terms of such as the bank statements or the financial records, and also what their budget will look like last year, so that you can use that as an example or refine it, or some of their financial cash journals statements that you can pull up from them. Audit report, I don't usually see so far that in joining clubs, I haven't seen any club that has been doing audit, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it does not exist. Some club executive might opt in to have audit before the church, before the next treasurer takes over. And I'm going to just share with you briefly later on what needs to be gathered in terms of this activities. And all you have to do as an incoming treasurer is to try to find that information to the letter that shows then independent audit opinion that the audit committee represents the club in saying that the transaction has been completed. And so you get an extra assurance that you get a good starting point. And as well as that, you as a treasurer holds the privilege of having being assigned signatories for the bank account, in addition to two other executives. And any of two of the executives can sign. And all you have to do is to arrange with the bank, provided the minutes that shows the excerpts of all these three offices, showing that the three club office executives are being the signatories on the bank account, and any two can sign, along with your personal ID to make that signature card being restored. And don't forget that you will need also a letter showing to the bank that and getting the approval from the previous executive, previous treasurers, previous executives that are resigning from the signatories that they signed it on the letter and so that's approved to the bank. As I say that this auditors committee, what kind of information is going to be gathered in before you hand over for the next year's term. Some of these are pretty typical, and bank register statements and cancel checks. And what I also like is to focus on the edit on all the materials, all the documentations that was requested by the committee, showing that the transactions or the certain activities or events or payments can be approved by the club and also the executive teams. And sometimes the financial statements, if you have the income statement showing the itemized the income versus the expenditures, would be great. Within the next 60 days, which is coming in August now, and I hope that most of you have started with the club success plan. And with the success plan, it outlined all these educational requirements and also the administrative requirements, and in particular with the club growth requirements. And with these strategies of the club moving forward, there got to be some activities or plan that has a success matrix that formulated become the activities or events such as open houses, social events, or educational sessions that the club will conduct. And with that, it comes with resources. And so you can actually formulate a budget according to those resources that's planned out for between the executives along with them, and set up the financial records that you can, easy for you as a tool to keep track of. And for now, I wouldn't mind sharing an example of a template of the budget that it might be suitable for you, and feel free to add or tailor anything that we have that it was stated here. But what I would like as well is if you have some specific events that you can start out with the events first and then formulate some of the resources that needs to be added on. For example, if we, this is the club that I have been working with, an advanced club, and they help with workshops. And so we formulate some of these workshop events and come up with whatever the revenue and expenditures for that particular event. And we can actually transfer it over to the summarized budget, summarizing and put it on the itemize it into the budget as a summary items. And with the budget, we usually start up with the last year's account balances and whatever that is reconciled on the cash journal for at the beginning of July 1st. And if you have anything that outstanding from last year that hasn't been recorded that you need to make adjustments for, and also what you needed to project for the income for the club, looking forward, accounting for the membership growth that you anticipated for all the members, and you summarize it and calculate it based on whatever that you anticipated for the membership revenue, putting at a quite optimistic picture. And however, you needed to also tailor on whatever the resources that's needed for the club expenditures during the year. And the typical one that was the rent, if you are meeting in person, if you are meeting online, that will be the Zoom meeting expenditures. And don't forget that if you have collected membership, that you needed to submit the membership dues, and that too should be accounted for as well. Or the encouragements or awards, recognitions, or the social events that needs to be put through, and you needed to itemize that. And in the end, you needed to make sure that you have, making sure that the club is running feasibly viable, that there are some resources left in the end. And for clubs that has been running for quite a few years, I would think that there's some resources left over that helps you to keep the club going forward. And also with that, you will, for setting up financial records, I wouldn't mind putting on Excel worksheets, just like serving as a cash journal. And it, for the amount of the transactions for the cup that are quite limited, then it would just make sense to use Excel spreadsheets and put it in different columns and just ensure that you have a running balances at the end of certain period, and putting in the deposit as the adding additions and all these checks and charges, and itemize it on according to the days. And in the end, I would suggest that because of the executive meeting, that you need to report it on a quarterly basis about the financial position. My recommendation is to do it on a monthly basis, so that you know at a certain point of time that you will know what the concurrent expenses and what the situation was. And in coming to, especially around the cups that have specific events, to know that you can predict that what it's going to look like at the end of the month. So within the next month, you'll be really, really busy. And this is the cup collection time, cup dues collection time. And usually I have actually, from yesterday, I sent out the membership dues pay reminder to cup members already, knowing that it will take some time, and then give them a timeline to be paid. And by the end of probably September 22nd, you'll be able to make sure that you have sufficient time, be able to submit your Toastmasters dues through the districts, because what is considered as pay members for a club to have good standing is you will need to have world headquarters process your Toastmasters International dues, and by 8 members of the club in good standing, and 3 of those were being renewed from previous renewal period. So the club dues exactly were due, the day was April the 1st and October the 1st. So by April the 1st, if the club dues were not processed, the clubs would not be in good standing, and as well the certain members that hasn't been submitted the dues were having some problems with their educational goals as well. I'm not going to go through the resources that we have, and that Cheryl has just mentioned about how you can add Toastmasters International membership and also dues, and what is pretty self-explanatory of how you can submit your dues. But if you have any further questions, I'm more than happy to share with you. However, I do like to share with you that I'm not sure some of you might have known. We have, for those of the club that were in Free Toast Host, then you can log up to your club, and as a member, that there is treasury function still here being set up. And this is very good, very time efficient, effective way of sending out reminders to the club members. And you would have going through all these tabs in order for the dues to finish up your dues reminding process. The first tab that you were setting up, you needed to change all these settings, all these particulars on this, sets out on the particular way that an invoice or the inner contents of the email that's sent out and being updated. And this will be sent from the email server of the Free Hostels to individuals members' email. you go for the in-wheel invoice preview, it will be just look like this. And these were preempted and set up according to what you have set up in the previous tab. Oops. And next tab is to send notices and track payments. So the first time that the treasurer revised this, we needed to reset it all so that everything that start out with a clean record and to be able to send out, you check all these check mark on the beside the members, and when you click on this update and send notices, then automatically this will send out the notices by email. And you can also follow up on the for the following tab, that you can follow up on the invoices if they will not become due. And if you wanted to update the payment status, what they have been paid, you can also check mark here. And with this tab here, you can upload the status report, or you can also follow up on the unpaid bills based on whatever that you put in over here as the payment status. The cup deals, $90 per year, and paid semi-annually for $45 in US. And new memberships, that needs to be added $20 on top of that for pathways enrollment. Any of the members that join during the year, then it will be prorated according to time that they joined. The account, bear in mind that even though that we are submitting these deals that in terms of in US dollars, this is not what you are charging for the club members, because you look at there are several factors that take into consideration. One is, the major one is the exchange rate between the US and Canada. Right now is quite high. And also don't forget the club overhead costs for the club to sustain and move forward with their operation. So I would suggest that every 3 years, as a Toastmasters International guidelines, that the executive teams and also the treasurer can be held together on a meeting and review the plan for the next year and try to come up with the reasonable club deals that we charge to members. And I have also stressed about the club in good standing, so I'm not going to go through that again. So other than the club deals and the paid deals for the membership, on behalf of the membership, your ongoing duties, responsibilities aside from the club would be making sure that you have some deposit and issue checks for club activities, keeping the accurate financial records and update concurrently, and reconcile your deposit and expenditures and cash on hand, and receive the financial correspondence and the Toastmasters International Club statements. And once you submitted the payment, usually the club Toastmasters International immediately send you a confirmation, and you can forward that confirmation by email with the receipt number that you be able to log in from Toastmasters International and forward it to that specific members as a way that's showing that they their clubs were paid to Toastmasters International. And this is quite important with the two new members, because once the new members has joined, you wanted to make sure that the dues are being paid promptly as soon as the members added to the Toastmasters International's profile. So during this pandemic time, there are several ways of trying to organize the Toastmasters International deals and it's so challenging for you sometimes if you have to go various trips to the bank. And I would recommend it for you and the treasurer and also the executive teams sit together and see whether it's a feasible way for having the bank account set out as doing e-transfers. E-transfers is very efficient method for that to be paid online, that you can have members to e-transfer you the money, and what you have a specific account or your own account, then you can e-transfer back to the club's bank account that will serve as an audit trail, as a way of depositing the funds, and then send back to. Then you can, at the end of the term or when the Toastmasters International payment time, then you go on the Toastmasters International and make the payments together with your credit card. And please make sure that you have a concurrent record of what you have been collected for membership, and also what the Toastmasters International has been charged you on the credit card, because you will need it for that expenditures to be getting reimbursed by the club. So that way that you can, if the executive team is okay with that, providing this confirmation information, then they can approve you to get the money back from from the club. Another way to do that is also you can collect the money by e-transfer, and this is usually working with the members that are on renewal term, and when you keep track of all the renewal for all the deposits that were being gathered and the list, and then when it comes to the payment time, then you can actually pay it from your credit card, and in the end, whatever the difference on your collections and whatever what you have submitted to Toastmasters International, there is a difference. That difference will need to come back to the bank account. So you deposit whatever the difference is at towards the end. That can also serve the purpose, but what I think in that is more convenient, and there's a trade-off, not having an audit trail, but if you have sufficient documentation, I'm sure the club executive is good with that. And during the executive meetings, you needed to participate on the club executive success plan, which I hope you already have, and ensure that it's important to attend the executive meetings, because you wanted to see if there are additional items or agendas on the executive meetings that might impact on the ongoing functions of the club, whereby additional resources may need that you might anticipate, and you can advise them accordingly whether it's feasible or not. And usually at the end of the quarter, you wanted to make sure that there's some resources left behind. And also at the club meetings, you would collect the membership deals and report on what the financials on your role as a club treasurer. They usually ask for the treasurer's report. And then you can also present the club budgets to the members as well, because they need to know what are the details. Treasury functions has a lot of the resources available other than talking with the previous treasurers, and the secretary is also your ally, because they can help you to put updates on the Toastmasters International membership, and they also help you to keep the records of it if you want them to keep records. And Toastmasters International suggests that for a club, you wanted to keep 7 years worth of record for the club, and make sure that it's concurrent and available for use on the executive hubs. Not that there's some audit will need to be done, but it's good to have this record, and in case there's some discussions and what we have, we strive for differences and things for consideration. And there are some policies from the Toastmasters International CUP Central District Leadership Central website, and under governing documents, and also the profile, the CUP Institute constitutions and membership submissions, along with the distinguished CUP that you probably will need to get familiarized with. And this is where you can get your governing documents. Is under Leadership Central, governing documents, and policies and protocol. And under there are a lot of resources. This policy 2, CUP and membership eligibility, would describe a lot of things about what a CUP eligible, membership of being eligible, and it's good to know as a treasurer. And the CUP constitutions, how a CUP can comply, get the status with Toastmasters International, and also the fundraising activities. Okay, the fundraising activities is 8.2, which we will be explored when we have time later, and the dues and fees, which tells us how to tell some more information about different dues and fees, and especially with the Charter Cup and how it was the fees were being prorated. A lot of the information. So if you would like to explore some of these information, if you have some questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll share my information at the end on my contacts, and we can discuss more. The next things that we were going to cover really briefly is the fundraising guidelines. And this comes out, you are allowed to do fundraising. A CUP can do that because if for some reason the CUP wants to do some educational sessions and wanted to further the purpose of the Toastmasters International as a membership growth, the CUP can do that. And just because of the limited membership revenue that they have, they can have additional resources from fundraising. And to do that, the CUP will do some educational sessions, and just to let you know that there are some guidelines from Toastmasters International that your fundraising activities should not be recurring, and it would need to be would not need it to be more than 2/3 of the CUP's total resources. And that means that the CUPs should not have 1/3 of the membership being 1/3 of the resources derived from membership deals. And whenever there's a district event that the CUP is doing fundraising on behalf of the district, some of these some CUPs might have been gone through. That is the speech contest, when the CUPs is providing for the division speech contest, and the CUP officer training when we are meeting in person, or even the conference fundraising. All your expenditures and the revenue resources will need to be combined, and they belong to the district event. And that means that in the end of the event, or the leftovers from the fundraising activities, resources will needed to add back to the send back to the district. Or if you have any resources that you have used over and above what you have collected, you can get reimbursed from the district as well. So the CUP would end up having put out zero resources. On the Toastmasters International, they if you do the educational sessions on this Success Leadership Series, the Better Speaker Series, and the Success Communication Series, the Speechcraft, they are available for you, and you can order from them as well. And just to let you know that if you are a presenter and for the educational sessions, they are qualified as an icebreaker in a pathway program. The fees that you charge should not be over the, on your fundraising activities should not be over a year of membership, which is $90 US. And if there's over the limit, you will have to get approval from Toastmasters International. Advertising on newspaper is permitted, and also you can sell the entertainment books or diners books only. You can do auctions as well of the donated goods. Something outside of the club that you want for recreational event, which would definitely be over the $19 limit, for golf event or the bikeathon, or you want to support a certain campaign of a candidate of the political parties, that is not allowed because there's not basically furthering the education of Toastmasters International. That makes sense. So to sum up, and with the more than 30 days period, and I hope that by now you have something set in stone for as being a treasurer and working on your budget and success plan and keeping your signatory card in place, and make sure that you have this capability of issuing checks and making for the club moving forward successfully. Before we do any possible scenario solutions, I'm not going to go through that, but what I would like actually is to see if you have any questions that you might want me to address.
Might I suggest that you turn your video back on and unmute yourself and ask questions?
Hi, it's Janessa here from Edmonton. I just wanted to say that information was a little overwhelming, to be honest, but it was very informative. Lots of really great information. I'm just wondering if your presentation will be shared anywhere where we can access it.
Yes, thank you, Janessa. And for sure, this session is recorded, and I have already promised the previous sessions attendance that I will share all the budget templates and the cash journal transactions and into the district website, and hopefully that can form it as a guide for everybody to use as a source of reference.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Estella.
Hi, Estella.
Hi, okay, thank you so much for your presentation. It was very, very informative. I just want to clarify something. I'm not sure if I just missed it. You were saying that our fees cannot be more than $90 US. Is that?
No, this is just for. Sorry, this is just for if the club is doing fundraising activities.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't quite catch that. Okay. All right. Thanks for clarifying that. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
Stella, I have a question.
Yes.
On the fundraiser activities, how often can a club actually hold one of those? Is there a limit that we have to abide by?
There are no limits, but the Toastmasters International is recommending that we do it infrequently. That means that just maybe a few, one or two, maybe the max would be the maximum.
Will we get our hands slapped if we do more than two?
I think, you know, as long as they were within this guideline, is if you have the club, the total sources of revenue, and you have fundraising that is over 2/3 of that, then that's the limit. And irrespective of how many fundraising events that you are going to be held for the year, then I would probably use the the sources, the percentage of the fundraising revenue towards the total revenue. So the CUP members should not be less than 1/3 of the membership should not be less than 1/3 of the total revenue for the CUP.
Thank you. Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
Stella, this is Gwendolyn. My
Hi,
granddaughter came in while you were talking about the dues management, and I'm not clear where I go to find that screen. Is it on the regular Toast, or do we have to go under admin?
If you wanted to find out if you have the free host, if the club is managing the membership on either the Easy Speak or free host host, if the club is utilizing the free host host, there is a management screen that you can utilize on the settings where you can set out the template and send out dues reminder to individual members.
So the template is there. I just have to go find it?
Yes, it will be in the, if I can share. The template is here. Under the free host on your free host,
Yes.
there's treasury functions deals here. Under this, the left side of the website, and you click on that, you come up with this deals management dialog box, and under each individual tab, that's how you manage to send your dues payment. And what it says is that use this tool to send invoices to CUP members in September and March for the semi-annual deals. And use this tool to fill in the information, and you simply fill in the information here. And the good thing about this is the check must be received on or before, and give them a timeline that they can submit their dues by. And you will have to save the dues information. Once it's saved, you go to, there's an invoice preview here where you can log into this were being the information was being populated according to what you have set out in the on the setup invoice setting here, and then it will also show the invoice amount.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so you go for this tab, and then whatever that what you make sure that you check all the individual members, and then you go update, and for the first time you have to reset it all. Make sure that you reset it, and then the information, the update information is there, and just send notices on this. Just check on this and click on this, and it will send all the invoices and emails out through the email server.
So I am just going to chime in again here. You're doing okay for time. It's soon, they haven't got the warning yet, but I know I will, that we'll be transitioned back into the orientation room. Please do not log off. Stay where you are, and they will put you back into the orientation room. They will have some wrap-up announcements to make. And at this point, I would like to thank our presenter, Estella Mah, for doing such a wonderful job with us today. I'm not a treasurer, never been the treasurer, but I might just consider it for the future after this. Thank you so much, Estella. Yay!
Thank you so much, and I wish everybody a great year and all the success in managing the CUP. Thank you all.